Hi, I'm James Sanders, CEO of RE/MAX Estate Properties, and today I'm going to be reacting to Dave Ramsey's reality check of the real estate market.
House prices went up 29%.
So I have a problem with that. He is talking about median home prices, and the consumers or the watchers are saying, equating this to appreciation. Not necessarily so. Home values certainly skyrocketed, but not 29% nationwide. He's talking about the median price of homes.
And so what happened was we came out of the pandemic quarantine and the economic suppression. People were trapped in their homes. They decided they didn't like them and they needed to go buy a new home.
I disagree. Not everybody didn't like their home. They were taking advantage of the really low interest rates below 2%.
And so we saw this unprecedented spike in prices. Values went up dramatically. In 2021, it continued, but not as much, up 18%.
He said prices in 2021 didn't go up as much as 2020. Disagree. In Southern California, we saw prices appreciate more in 2021 than 2020.
And they're projecting, all the economists that are looking at this, a 3 to a 4% increase next year. Now, 3 to 4 to 5%, somewhere in there, is the average increase in real estate prices, residential single-family homes, for the last 50 years.
We like to see slow and steady appreciation. What happened over the last 2.5 years is not sustainable, and it's nice to see the housing market slow down, not crashing, but slow down to a more maintainable pace.
It's worse than 2008. This is going to be bad. I've never seen anything like this. And all this drama and all this octave change in people's voices indicating their fear and their anger and everything else around it. So let's look at some facts. Well, we've had a shortage of homes for about the last 2 decades. That's pretty crazy. And because of low supply, high demand, people have been willing to pay a lot of money for stuff.
The demand was artificially stimulated by extremely low interest rates.
And so it was like a guy sitting there with a house and he's going, I don't really care if I sell it or not, but word is there's people running around here paying $200,000 more, $300,000 more.
We also saw fear of missing out, FOMO, big time in the market with low interest rates and no inventory. So we had an imbalance of supply and demand, low shortage of inventory, not only in Southern California and nationwide, but worldwide.
I've got a Shih Tzu named Rufus, and I don't really want to sell him, but for $10 million, you can have Rufus. Rufus is a goner. We're going to give him to you for $10 million. I'm telling you.
Wow.
Sorry, Rufus. We love you, buddy.
I would sell my
guess what?
dog
Nobody's
too.
offering me that. Is these ridiculous offers cause people who really weren't even sellers to become sellers. They were drawn into the market.
We also saw the shortage of inventory where people with low interest rates, people were able to buy up or down or move laterally and not have to sell their existing home. That took more homes off the market than traditionally. What people were doing, they were refinancing their existing home at an extremely low interest rate, and then they bought another home at another low interest rate. They were able to rent their first home out, not only cover the mortgage, but maybe actually have a positive cash flow, and then they could move on to a house that accommodated their pandemic lifestyle.
3 million houses, almost 4 million houses for sale in 2007, and there's about 800,000 for sale right now. So our current supply is approximately 1/4 of what it was in 2007.
I agree with Dave. We have a low supply of inventory. We've seen the inventory increase since interest rates have gone up, but we're seeing an ultra low supply of inventory compared to historic supplies.
So we've got a shortage of new houses. We've got a shortage of used houses. And guess what? There's been no foreclosures. Yeah, look at the foreclosures. You know, they shot way up in 2007, 2008, but go over here to COVID. Look what happened. Zoop.
One of the reasons there's no foreclosures is everybody has a lot of equity. The lenders were not giving loans to high-risk borrowers, and most people had 20% down. We've seen prices appreciate probably 50% over the 2.5 years of the pandemic. People have plenty of equity. They're not going to give their home and their equity back to the bank. They're going to put it on the market and sell it.
We have about 2 years that major banks have taken almost no houses, and those people are sitting there paying no payments. They're living there for free right now, and we got about 2 years backlog of foreclosures. It's going crazy out there.
In any market, we're going to see a slight number of homeowners that lose their job, have injuries or death, and will be foreclosed upon. I don't see that number increasing dramatically just because everybody has more equity in their home than ever before.
In addition to that, we've got 12 million more households in the United States in 2022 than we did in 2007. Today, we're looking at 128 million households. Back then, we had 116 million, difference 12 million. So we've got that many more people that have set up house that need a house. 5 million of them are millennials.
We have a housing crisis in the United States, and particularly Southern California. We have more people than housing. The best time to buy real estate was 20 years ago. The second best time is today.
Today, we've got these big conglomerates buying single-family homes like crazy. Last year, according to Forbes, they bought 28% of the houses that were for sale in America.
Blackstone is one of the largest homeowners of single-family homes in the United States.
These are the top 10 cities where they were doing this stuff, where the investors are going in and buying.
You can notice all of those have affordable homes. Charlotte, Jacksonville, Phoenix, Tampa, Nashville, very affordable homes.
Now, we've got some cities that the investors are not interested in. These are the worst cities in America as far as the investors are concerned.
And look, you got more of the affluent cities because investors can't get cash return on their investment in the higher priced cities.
You're starting to see cities that have high taxes, cities that had archaic, crazy COVID freedoms taken away.
I see his point, but I think more to it, they're looking at potential growth, they're looking at affordability, they're looking at rental rates compared to the price of the home, and they're going after good investments. They're going to have cash return. LA didn't make either of the list, which is surprising, but then again, LA market it's high-priced homes, and the political backlash of statewide rent control in California has scared a bunch of investors away.
And most people already just barely had enough room in their budget to go buy that house that they wanted to do, and so they're feeling this, and that's where all this fear is coming from. I feel like I can't get that house.
There's a real fear. I've talked to some renters that are feeling like they got completely priced out of the home. They may have sold their home right when the pandemic hit, and they chose to rent. It was a bad mistake. Prices escalated, rents are escalating, and for that same renter to get back into the homeowner market, it's a lot more expensive. I thought Dave Ramsey was spot on. You know, it's supply and demand, and I've been saying that for years. What we're seeing in Southern California may differ just a little bit because prices are a little bit different. The political environment is a little bit different for investment properties. We have statewide rent control. The millennials are a little bit priced out of the market.